The second tip that I'm going to share with you is to value the voice of the customer more than any other. So I'll tell you another story. This will be a compilation of real customers, real client stories of people that I've worked with. So I have a client that's come to us, and they are in the process of raising money, and they have a whole host of digital advisors, digital health advisors and consultants that are speaking into them. And every time that they are pitching their solution to someone, they've got an audience that is telling them exactly what they need to do in order to get funding. And that's great. We need to be able to pitch, and get all of that feedback that is going to be so important in shaping our business models, shaping our brand story to be able to help us to get the funding that we need. So that way we can get our innovations out into the marketplace. And like I said before, transform healthcare. The challenge is that if we are not grounded in the problem that we are solving for the marketplace and really grounded in who we are and the solution that we are bringing, that we will then end up being caught up in this whirlwind of feedback, and it'll be very confusing, and we will be lost on who we should be listening to. And so then what I find happens often is an innovator is pitching to one investor, and they get that feedback, and they go back and they change that PowerPoint presentation, they change their pitch deck, they change their business model, and they present it again, and they pitch to someone else. And then inevitably that investor also has indifferent feedback for them. And then they go back and they change their pitch deck and they change their business model. And it just becomes this really awful circle of feedback and confusion. And so, the head is spinning and the wheels are turning. What in the world am I doing? And so many times I find that innovators are actually end up building businesses that they never set out to build, and they don't want to build, they don't want to bring to market. Or they just get stuck in this downward spiral of feedback and this massive identity crisis, and then no longer have clarity on the purpose and the mission that they have, and really struggle with raising money, and certainly struggle with being able to win some of those first customers. So we definitely want to be grounded in the voice of the customer. And when I say more than others, I mean even more than your own voice. So there's a certain amount of intuition and gut instincts that us innovators want to rely on. And, if you think about Steve Jobs as an example, when he was coming out with the iPod, there's no way that he was going to be able to query a whole bunch of consumers and ask them what is it that they wanted. And anyone was going to ever articulate that they wanted an iPod, that they wanted to be able to have this digital device that they could put in their pocket to play 1,000 songs. Right? You remember his tagline, 1,000 songs in your pocket. So it's different when we are bringing a revolutionary innovation to market versus when we are doing something that's just more of an incremental innovation. But the key here is in valuing the customer voice and doing that early customer discovery process is being able to ask the right questions. We are not expected to ask people what do they want and expecting them to tell us exactly what it is that we are supposed to innovate. They're never going to tell us that revolutionary innovation that's going to be the game changer in this white space in the market. But what we can do is we can ask them, what is it, the pain that they are experiencing? What are the things that they've already tried that haven't worked? What are some of the substitutes that they're doing right now? What is the job that they are trying to get done or accomplish? That teases out this incredible insights. And when we start out on this customer discovery process to learn something new without having our own biases, that becomes a game changer for our business models, and it becomes a game changer for our commercial success. So it is much easier for us to be able to involve the voice of the customer in this process than it is for us to think that we need to be the only ones that have the answers, or our internal R&D teams are the only ones that can ideate what are the solutions that need to be brought to the marketplace. So I'm going to encourage you to value the voice of the customer more than investors that you're pitching to, more than the digital health advisors, including myself, that are speaking into you and guiding you on your commercial decisions. And then even more so, more than your own voice. And I know that that's a real hard thing for us to realize. We've got to be able to put our ego to the side and say that we don't have to be the only one with the answers. But when we elevate that customer voice, that we are making it a lot easier on ourselves, and we are moving towards a greater propensity to have commercial success.